Gen Zs are entering the workforce, millennials are beginning to settle down. All of that is happening in the context of a pandemic. And these are really our future leaders, the future drivers of socio-economic change for our country. So we thought it would be really, really interesting to understand and take a nice, good look at how the pandemic has affected them. So our first key finding is that Gen Ys and Zs have become more financially conscious because of the pandemic. Their top stressor or their number one worry during this time is running out of money. They're also afraid that they might fall ill. It is a pandemic after all. They are afraid of their own death or losing a loved one, again related to the pandemic. So these are the top worries, and they actually have driven what are currently the top priorities. Number one is staying healthy and avoiding becoming ill. That is followed by saving money, becoming financially independent, finding work that is well-paying, securing a well-paying job, and establishing a business. So some of the changes that we have learned about or seen, the young Filipinos are taking steps to improve their financial health during this time. And 81% of the population that we surveyed told us they already take necessary steps to make sure they build a financially secure future for themselves. Related, I think, to prioritizing needs over wants, only 19% actually told us that they still set aside money for luxuries. So while they spend a little bit more, they actually became financially aware a little bit earlier. So Gen Z started saving at 17, started investing at 21. Millennials started saving at 23 and started investing at 27. So the awareness and the action around financial health, financial wellness has started a little bit earlier for this younger generation. And right now, 77% of the Gen Zs that we spoke with told us that they are already researching about finance. But because millennials have been earning longer and are, of course, older than Gen Z, their financial literacy is a little bit more established already at this time. So 67% of them are already investing, 79% are looking not just to save, but also to grow their money, and 77% are minimizing their investment risks by diversifying their portfolio. The second thing we found is that one of the top stressors is declining mental health. And what we actually found is that this is much more heightened in Gen Z, particularly those who are still in school. Some of the things that are affecting that are what they describe as toxic social media posts. So that causes some anxiety, and also it heightens their fears and their worries about their peers getting ahead. Interestingly, 53% of them actually told us that they turn to social media to cope with stress as well. Now, it's a little different for working Gen Z and millennials. Their concerns are a little bit more related to financial wellness. Millennials have become more focused on growing their money. First, their approach to investment is a little different. It's a little more balanced. There's a higher penetration for all products among millennials. This is probably because they've been working more, they've been financially independent for longer and earning longer. So the capacity to invest is larger than Gen Z at this point. But the interesting thing is, as we look at the top investment types, the distribution begins to sort of even out, especially for the top three. So number one is insurance, bonds are second, cryptocurrency is actually gaining popularity as an investment avenue. The other thing I think that stood out was both in terms of their priorities and the reasons for saving. These young Filipinos have very entrepreneurial aspirations, and because of that, they are taking a long-term, well-balanced approach to not just saving, but also growing their money to make sure that they can achieve those goals. I think what we see here is that the pandemic has really sped up adulting for these two generations. Again, forcing everyone to focus more on needs and wants, forcing everyone to take stock of where they are financially and also health-wise to make sure that they build the necessary physical muscle and also financial muscle to be stable and to be strong in the long run and make their everyday better.